So one day when I was being a fucking god at TF2, I was thinking, which class has the best weapons for mobility? And this is where the title card's supposed to come in. This idea came to me at 6 AM when I was playing as Scout, and I was just jumping up and down certain areas. I was thinking, hey, doesn't the Scout have a lot of weapons that help him with mobility? Doesn't the Soldier, Demoman, and Pyro also have a few weapons that help them with mobility? And that's where this video came from. Anyways, the first class I'm going to start with is the first class in order, the Scout. The Scout is the best class in the game for movement, with double jump and moving much faster than any of the other classes. He also has a lot of weapons that help him with movement, despite being the best class in the game. He even gets with stock weapons. One of those weapons is the Winger. It gives him a 15% damage bonus and 25% greater jump height when he's holding the weapon. The only downside is a 60% clip size penalty, but no one uses a pistol as a Scout. The next weapon is the baby-faced blaster, where every time you shoot someone it builds your speed. Although you only have 4 bullets in the chamber compared to 6, and you have a slower move speed at the start. And also every time you double jump, a 50% boost is taken away, and every time you get hit it also goes away. The next weapon is the Force of Nature, which has a 50% faster firing speed and also does knockback to whoever you shoot, and if you shoot while mid-air, it also does knockback to you. It also has much more bullets on the spread, but it does have a minus 10%. It also has a 10% damage penalty and only has 2 bullets in the chamber instead of 6, but also reloads the entire clip at once, and with the fastest firing speed, the damage penalty is not too bad. The next weapon is a Soda Popper, which just gets the same as the Force of Nature, but instead of doing knockback on hit, it builds the boost whenever you hit someone else, and once the boost is filled and you activate it, it allows you to do more than just one jump in the air. It allows you to do multiple jumps mid-air. The fifth and final weapon for the Scout is the Atomizer, which gives the Scout a triple jump when he is holding the bat, and also every melee attack mini crits when you're mid-air, but it also does 15% less damage, and it deploys 50% slower. Now the way I'll be testing these weapons has not been said yet. I'll use these weapons from different areas on 2-4 with its max ability, and whichever can get me faster to the destination is the best weapon. So I'm going to start off by testing with the Winger, since I'm going to go in order. So I'm going to start with each class from here and attempt to jump up the middle. So as a Scout, the Winger, I can obviously do it. So the next test I'm going to do for the Winger and every other weapon is I'm going to start from this area right here, and I'm going to attempt to get up here. The Winger, you can clearly just make it easily. But with other weapons, we will see if they're able to make it. For the third and final test, I'm going to see who is the fastest with these different weapons. So I'm going to see who's the fastest by starting from my intel room to the other intel room. This part will obviously be sped up, but I'll show the time next to the video.
intelligence return to their base.
Yeah!
We have taken the enemy intelligence.
Gotcha! Yeah, gotcha!
So the best weapon for speed here was the Babyface's blaster, making it to the other team's intel in just 27 seconds. But the best weapon for speed and actually getting on top of things was the atomizer and the soda popper. The atomizer only beating the soda popper in just 1 millisecond. Although both things are great, the atomizer is still better than the soda popper due to not needing to gain a boost. The winger is probably better combined with other things, and these weapons are definitely better combined together for mobility, but that's not what we're doing. We're testing which weapons are better alone. So now, the second class I'm going to focus on is the soldier. So the soldier is one of the slowest classes in the game, definitely slower compared to scout, but his rocket saves him from being out of the question for mobility, as he can rocket jump and it can send him across the map in seconds. He has several rockets made for rocket jumping, such as the rocket jumper, which makes him take no damage at the sacrifice of not being able to hold the intel and not being able to do damage with the rockets to anyone else. The airstrike, which allows him to shoot multiple rockets mid-air, and of course the Liberty Launcher, which just makes him take less damage from rocket jumping. And the stock rocket launcher anyways is fine for rocket jumping too. He also has the man treads, which I'm going to combine with all these rockets to help with mobility, since it allows him to move much better in the air. And the last rocket I'm going to be using is the original. Only using this, even though it's a reskin of the stock, it shoots in the middle of your screen instead of to the side where the stock rocket launcher would be placed. So it is different than the stock. Okay, so the two tests I had for Scout I'm not going to be doing. The two extra ones, like, oh, can you get up here? And can you get on top of the bridge? He obviously can. He obviously can get on top of the bridge and on top of that little platform. So I'm honestly just going to start with going from my intel to the other teams. Because, I mean, yeah, he can easily make it up here. He can easily make it over here. He can just, it's rocket jumping, it's not double jumping. So, and also before I start, I am not a god at rocket jumping. So I'm going to be much slower than the pros that can rocket jump from a small platform 1 million miles away to another tiny little platform in the middle of nowhere. One thing I'll be doing for the rocket launchers that do deal damage is I'm going to be using the escape plan for more movement speed. I'm doing this due to the fact that you can't do many rocket jumps with the weapons that do deal damage, or else you're gonna die. So this will at least help with the speed, as with the rocket jumper you can rocket jump as much as you want and you won't have to worry about taking rocket damage.
We have taken the enemy.
So with all of the weapons side by side, we can see that the fastest weapon is the airstrike of 41 seconds and 46 milliseconds, very close to the Liberty launcher's time of 41 seconds and 49 milliseconds, while the rocket that took the longest to get to the intel took 46 seconds and 88 milliseconds, which was the rocket jumper, while the fastest weapon overall was the escape plan with 35 seconds and 32 milliseconds. Although every rocket was close in time, the airstrike, the Liberty launcher, and the stock, or the rocket launcher, were much better than the original and the rocket jumper. And of course the escape plan is the best weapon here. It gives you speed boost when you're low on health, and I was at 1 HP, so of course it's gonna be the best one there. Moving on to the third class, we have the Pyro. The Pyro is hands down the easiest class to play as in the game, and can be one of the most annoying classes in the game. But they only have a few weapons for mobility: the thermal thruster, the scorch shot, and the detonator. And the only good weapon for mobility that the Pyro has in these three is the thermal thruster. So I will be bringing back the first two tests I did as scout, seeing if I can make it on top of the bridge and on top of the platform. So without further ado, I'm just gonna do the tests. One weapon that I forgot the Pyro had is the power jack, which just gives him a 15% move speed boost. So I will also be testing that, but only for speed.
We have taken the enemy intelligence. We have taken the enemy intelligence. We have taken the enemy intelligence.
So looking after every weapon after the test has finally been done, the power jack is the fastest weapon, taking only 38 seconds and 1 millisecond to get to the intel, while the second fastest is the thermal thrusters, which only took 41 seconds and 59 milliseconds, and is able to make it on top of the bridge and the platform, no issue. The score chart gives us some of the most unique stats of this, due to it only being able to make it onto the platform, but not being able to make it on top of the bridge. And the final time took 45 seconds and 86 milliseconds. And the detonator was the best flare gun of them all, as in the only two, taking 44 seconds and 35 milliseconds, and it was able to make it on top of the bridge and the platform, no issue. And the fourth class that we have is the Demoman. The Demoman certainly is one of the most unique classes in the game, mostly due to the fact that he only has explosives as his main weapon, unless you equip, different weapons. But the main weapons we're going to focus on is any weapon in the secondary slot. So he has multiple things for this. He has the multiple shields, but I'm going to be using the splendid screen combined with the bootlegger. The sticky bomb launcher, which if he puts down 2, you can activate it and you'll go further than anything. The quickie bomb launcher, the Scottish resistance, and the sticky jumper. The quickie bomb launcher is just has faster arm time, and also does more damage if you charge up for longer. The Scottish resistance allows you to not only fire it faster, but have 6 more sticky bombs on the floor at once, and also allows you to choose which sticky bomb you want to detonate. And finally, the sticky jumper, it's basically just the rocket jumper for Demoman. Nothing on the melees help, and the base jumper will not be used due to the fact that it does not help him with mobility or speed. It only helps if you're trying to travel far distance, and that's not what we're doing here. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get into testing.
the enemy.
So now that we're done with the Demoman segment, we can see that the fastest weapon was the sticky jumper, which took a total of 38 seconds and 95 milliseconds. The second fastest was the Demoman loadout, taking 39 seconds and 11 milliseconds. And it was also, of course, able to make it on the bridge. The sticky bomb launcher was also able to make it on top of the bridge and the platform, as for every single other sticky bomb launcher. The slowest was the Scottish Resistance, taking 45 seconds and 23 milliseconds, and the Quickie Bomb launcher was the second slowest, taking 44 seconds and 14 milliseconds. And with that, we're finally done with Demoman's part, so time to move on to the fifth and final class. The So the engineer. The engineer is quite a simple class. He just builds sentries and dispensers that can give ammo, metal to other engineers, and can heal your teammates and yourself. And he can also build teleporters. Why is he here? Well, for one reason, one purpose. The Wrangler. Now the Wrangler, it just lets you take control of your sentry and allows you to fire it. But the rocket, you can use the rocket to rocket jump as an engineer. And although it's not very helpful, because your sentry is usually going to be in a position where there are no high points, it can be helpful if getting up to places and putting in a teleporter. The only thing we're going to be using the Wrangler for is seeing if he can get on top of the bridge and the platform. And of course you'll see his regular speed with just running from his team's intel to the other team's intel. We are just going to do the 3 tests with the engineer and see what comes out of it. Now that we are finally done with every class, we're going to look back and see who had the most consistent results and had the best results. This will be starting out with the Scout. We can see that the Scout averaged 30 seconds with each weapon, and we can see that the fastest result is 27 seconds and 5 milliseconds. This is definitely the fastest weapon of them all, but let's see if any can get close to what Scout's results were. The next class we're going to look at is the Soldier. The Soldier averaged 40 seconds, with the fastest test being with the Escape Plan, taking 35 seconds to 32 milliseconds, and of course every single rocket launcher was able to get on top of the platform and the bridge. It's rocket jumping, it's self-explanatory. Next class we're going to look at the Pyro, who only had 4 weapons to help him with mobility and speed. We can see that the Pyro's best time was with the Power Jack, taking 38 seconds and 1 millisecond. While he did have a pretty good time for that, he averaged a whopping 42 seconds. 42 seconds is longer than the Soldier's, mind you. Now for the next class, we have the Demoman, who definitely had a lot of weapons to help him with mobility and speed, all of them being in his secondary slot. We can see here that the weapon that brought him to the intel the fastest was the Sticky Jumper, taking 38 seconds and 95 milliseconds. This is good, although it is useless because he can't pick up the intel. The second fastest was with the Demoman, taking only 39 seconds and 11 milliseconds. This all combines to yet again 42 seconds as his average, making him tied with Pyro for last. And now for the last class, the Engineer. And ever since there was only one test done, there will be no average because you cannot make up an average when there's only one result. And even if we could, theoretically, make up an average for him, he's only 3rd place, only about 20 milliseconds away from being tied with Pyro and Demomans for last. So, with all these results, it is clear that Scout is the best class for speed and mobility. Not surprising at all, ever since he has an average of 30, beating Soldiers by 10 whole seconds. He's also the fastest class in the game, even with stock weapons, so it's... Why do you even watch this video? Why did I even make this video, actually?